This is Carla with Ororo Comics Podcast. I wanted to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Revival Comics Studio, owned and operated by 3 incredible artists based out of Indonesia. Now, you may be familiar with their work. Ian, one of the artists, was the principal artist on my series, Luna, and as well as many other titles such as Deja Vu and a whole bunch of other titles here in the indie space. So I wanted to encourage you all to go follow them on Revival Comics Studio on Instagram and let them know that Carla sent you so you can get a special discount. Hey everyone. I'm Carla.
I'm Ebony.
And we are Ororo Comics Podcast. Yay, we did that in sync. So we're 2 nurses talking about health, culture,
comic books.
All right, so we are here at one of our local malls, just chilling. This is the first time we've actually met in person. So we just did like a day of beauty. We took some pictures. So we're hoping that you all will see those very soon. But I had a good time.
Yeah.
Good time today.
Lots of fun, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
All my money at this mall. Sorry, don't tell my husband.
So what you want to talk about, girl?
Deadpool. Wade Wilson, Merc with a Mouth. I've seen it twice already. Y'all, I feel like, okay, spoiler. So if you haven't seen it yet, go see it. So bye if you haven't. For everybody else who's seen it, I feel red for filth a little bit, but also I expect filth from Wade Wilson. I drive a Honda Odyssey, and so if you've seen it, you know what I mean. The fact that they drove a Honda Odyssey in to go battle Cassandra Nova, Charles Xavier's twin. So yeah, you should go back and review that if you haven't. If you're not familiar with the story of Charles Xavier and his school for the gifted. What are they? The gifted.
The gifted. Mm-hmm.
School for the gifted.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was definitely a Marvel love letter and a beautifully written farewell. We also got to see some of our favorite characters, maybe some of your not so favorite characters. Elektra, we got to see her appear. We got to see Logan's, created from Logan's DNA. What's her name? Laura. What her claws are. Look at my claws. Then we got to see Gambit. Everybody who's been watching X-Men 97, again, spoiler alert, because we've already been talking about X-Men 97 for the past. I feel like since the drop, we were talking about X-Men 97, but Gambit, mon cher. So we got to see Channing Tatum in that role, and I think he's from Louisiana, Channing Tatum. So it was nice to see him as Gambit.
Oh, okay. And they said that his accent was like spot on, the Cajun accent. They said that's the people who are Cajuns from that region said that. Yeah, that's what they said.
Go Channing Tatum shot. I just thought it was kind of funny. It felt like how when somebody does a southern accent, like it felt over, like about there, you about crawfish bowl.
It did. I thought it was bad at first, but then when you read the comments, it's like, oh, that's dead on. That's spot on. So
okay, well done, Channing Tatum. So he did a great job as Gambit. Also, of course, Blade, Hannibal Francis Blade. We got to see Blade. So of course I got the subscription. Carla's been bullying me, y'all didn't know, to get a Marvel Unlimited subscription. I also got the DC Infinite subscription, which is not infinite, because why do I have to have an Ultra subscription to get access to certain first appearances or certain special issues of series? Not cool, DC. Not cool. Huge fan, but not cool.
Yeah, Marvel is better. Marvel is better.
I am currently reading Blade because I saw Blade. We saw Wesley Snipes. It's amazing. I love horror. So, of course, I've been reading Blade all week. The artwork is amazing. It's the 1994 solo issue. But that brought me to the 1999, 2000. There's 7 issues in that set, so I've been reading through those. I think one of my favorite things about reading electronically, y'all, I was a hard sell. I'm not an early adopter of stuff at all, especially not technology. I'm a physical media girl, but I finally got the subscription like maybe a week or 2 ago, and I love it. I love being able to read panel by panel. It's like the way the artist intended, the way the writers intended. So I've been really, she told me. I've been really enjoying it. I'm sorry to say, but it's nothing like that comic book smell when you walk into a local comic shop and you just smell comic books. But it's okay, I have it on my tablet, so I can just be like, boop, 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 boop.
I know, I love it.
Panel, so
I love it, and I love the Marvel Unlimited app because I got into comics around 2018, so I have so much catching up to do, and I don't have, I'm way behind in my comic book collection, but nowadays a girl don't got no coins, so having the app, I can still read the comics, and then if I really want something like tangible, I can order it off, go to my local comic book shop and order it. So
I think that's a bonus.
I say anybody who wants to read the comics, get the Marvel Unlimited app. I think that is the best way, the most economical way to get them.
And I like being able to create my own different lists. And Marvel is smart because they made it like gaming, so you get points for like opening a new comic, reading a new comic, for watching a video, maybe going to get merch from the store. So it's they make it like gaming, so the instant gratification, you're like, ooh. But I do agree, Carla, like once I find a series that I like, I'm like, okay, now I know I want to get the Blade 1999, 2000, like 7 issues from that collection, so I can have a complete collection of Blade from there. I want the 1994 Blade, which I don't know if I'm going to find that solo issue, because I think it was his first solo appearance, and so it's nice to be able to have the digital access, but then if I know I want a physical series, I can go get it. So yeah, but Deadpool was amazing. So I went off talking about Blade and Marvel app, but Deadpool was amazing. I just don't even know what. I mean, from Flame Boy coming, we got to see Johnny,
Chris Evans.
Johnny Storms, got to see Chris Evans. So that was really nice.
He was my favorite Johnny.
It was just so funny because he was like, oh, he's about to say he wanted to be Avenger. He's like waiting for him to say Avengers Assemble. He said Flame On instead. And so I'm telling you, audience was in uproar. Speaking of the audience, I am only ever watching Marvel films on the opening night with I feel like that was where the true fans were there, because we were laughing and clapping and getting all the different like Easter eggs and the different moments. But when I went to go see it again like a week later, I feel like it was maybe people there that just wanted to go see Deadpool because it was the thing to do and they weren't maybe familiar. And maybe some of the jokes weren't landing, which I don't know how, because again, he has a filthy mouth and he's marked with a mouth. So it was great. It was really great. It was great to see Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. So I loved it. I loved every minute of it. The TVA, the Time Ripper. So a lot of it's tied up a lot of the ends from a lot of what we've been seeing from Marvel in the past few years. The opening scene to me also was the best opening scene I've seen in a movie. Probably, I don't want to say ever, but in a really long time. I mean, NSYNC, Bye Bye Bye. And I actually did not know the choreographer was a black man. And so he had those hip-hop dance videos, y'all, in like the late 90s, early 2000s. And people were making fun of those videos, y'all. We used to laugh at those videos, like legit, I'm sure. The same way we're laughing at that breakdancer from Australia in the Olympics. But we'll get to that in a second. But I think it's probably really nice for him that he's seeing his choreography in a major like movie, and it's Marvel 20 plus years later, seeing your choreography. It's probably been 25 years since that movie and song came out. Oh yeah, Storm t-shirt. Yeah, thank you for noticing. But yeah, so.
Oh, shout out to Dylan.
Oh.
This is the Alison Storm Seeley Smith Publicist. Shout out, thank you.
Shout out to our girl Storm. Yeah, Ro. Yeah. Breakdancing at the Olympics, y'all. What was that?
So you probably would be able to speak more on this, but I don't think that having a doctorate in cultural studies gives you the authority to become an expert on someone else's culture.
No. I'm gonna get you down to the socks, y'all. I probably say this every time me and Carla have recorded since April was our first recorded. I can't. Yeah, it's the same way people get certificates in like cultural competency or whatever. You're not gonna be fully fluent in someone else's culture if you're not a member of that culture. You can have a deep appreciation for it, absolutely. One of my best friends is from Appalachia in West Virginia, and I love it. I support her. I support their horror lore, Mothman, Bigfoot, Squatch, whatever. They got all the lore in West Virginia, okay? Maybe another spooky episode or something anyway. But just because you have an appreciation doesn't mean I can now go and represent West Virginia, represent Appalachia, or represent, I don't know. It's so weird. And my husband's from the Bronx. And so, breakdance and hip hop and everything there. He told me he used to, sorry, honey, I love you. They used to break dance on like the cardboard boxes and stuff. And he would try to be being cool with it. It's funny because now he has like a bald head. So he probably could like do like the little spinny spin thing or whatever. I love you, honey. So I just, it's awkward. And it's like, is this your queen? Is this who you had to send to this?
We're talking about the Australian
I don't even know
contender. I forgot her name. They didn't say her name.
It matters not.
But the funny thing is like people, obviously most of us are clowning her for even attempting to do breakdancing, which clearly she has no training in it. I mean, I could qualify for the Olympics at that point.
But girl, they're like cheering her on as like some brave like woman because she's getting her PhD and she's taking the time to go do this and have fun. And it's like, yeah, that's not the same thing as like let's cheer you on and like, yeah, that's not. And I
thought
thing.
The Olympics it had to be a certain bar you had to pass. But apparently not. Apparently not.
She did like the little kangaroo. I do remember that move. That was notable, girl. Shout out to Australia.
And I think she did better. Like now, when she went to, they had some type of celebration for her. She did better in the little hometown.
Oh, yeah. I've heard people say that too. I just think, again, it's just so weird. I'm Gullah Geechee, and even when I tell people who take my class, it's an award-winning class. I've written a book on Gullah Geechee history and culture. It's just, I always tell people look at it as an appetizer. Like, it's not meant to be now you know everything there is to know about Gullah Geechee history and culture, even though the class is 15 weeks. I do workshops and seminars that are 2 to 3 hours long. Same thing I always tell the attendees, like, this is meant to be an introduction, like an appetizer. Talk to other Gullah Geechee people you meet and know. And even my socialization in Gullah Geechee is based on my family, where my family's from along the Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Corridor, which is, North Carolina and South Carolina. I have a very few family in Georgia, and there's also Gullah Geechee people in Florida. I can't possibly represent all of Gullah Geechee culture. And so it's weird that some people don't have the same humility when they approach doing things that are like significant in other people's culture. And yes, hip hop is a culture, it's Black American culture, and it's spread globally. And sometimes people will start removing people from said culture and things that are being celebrated. But
yes, it's very important to decenter ourselves. When we come across a culture that we may know a little bit about, we may know a lot about, but it's important to decenter ourselves in the conversation and the focus. So those who are part of the culture can get the spotlight and get the praise and all the praise. What I don't know what I'm trying to say, but they should get the recognition,
honor, and respect. Yeah, give it the proper reference it deserves. Also, so y'all, in health news, Naya Ellis, 14 years old, created a watch to detect stroke. So much like my Fitbit here. Can detect tachycardia or irregular like arrhythmias, irregular heartbeats, things like that. So she has created a watch to detect strokes, which is very important. So the current CDC stat, that's the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, every 40 seconds someone in the United States has a stroke. So 2 every 3 minutes and 14 seconds someone dies of stroke.
And that is amazing. I hope that I don't know who. I hope she gets the funding she needs to bring that to the market. But in my family, especially being from the South, the black women, of course they're Black, but the women in my family often have cardiac issues. Like I currently have a cardiac issue. That's why I have to stay away from caffeine. I have to stay away from certain foods. But the women in my family, we get hypertension, we can have strokes, and some of the women have died in their 40s, some in their 50s, some in their 60s because of cardiac issues. So this is amazing.
Personal to you.
Amazing, very personal. And I just hope that she gets all the funding she needs. Unfortunately, a lot of times we see those kind of things, but there's a lot of gatekeepers. She might not get the funding she really needs, and if there is funding, there might be some type of strings attached where she doesn't get the full credit. So shout out to her. What's her name again?
Naya Ellis.
Naya Ellis.
Yeah.
Shout out to
14
Naya
years
Ellis.
old, like,
And her
already-
parents.
Yeah,
for supporting her.
tech and like health technology genius. You go, girl. I mean, I think that's a wrap pretty much for everything. Y'all make sure you're able to recognize the signs of stroke. Too, like you said, certain people are developing like these cardiometabolic conditions like stroke and hypertension and diabetes, heart disease, all these things in their 40s now, like Carla said. So definitely make sure you're getting checked and know your numbers. Yeah, any facial drooping or slurring, any other signs you want to tell them about, Carla?
A lot of times, if you're starting to see signs, that's usually probably too late. So the best thing to do is to try to prevent strokes from even happening in the first place by just eating in moderation, doing some exercise throughout the week, and it doesn't have to be the bodybuilder, run till you drop kind of thing. It can be just walking 20 minutes a day. I got back to started walking. I started walking again. And then stress, keeping your stress levels down. Like for me, focusing on my love of writing, the love of comics has really helped me de-stress this year. And that's what I'm focused on is lowering my stress levels.
Same. I agree. I think the comic book community, that's something I was actually just telling Dr. Kiana Whittage, shout out to my girl. We're in the Nerdy South comic book club together, and I was just telling her the comic book community, it's been healing, kind of coming back around to it and letting myself have that joy and have that space. And the horror community, shout out to Horror Hoes. I love my y'all know
I'm clutching my pearls.
I love my horrors, so I love that I have my girls I can share my spooky stuff with. Every season is spooky season. Shout out to Tanana Reedu. I loved her shirt that said Final Girl the other day with all the blood on it. I was like, yes. Final girl. We're starting to see more black girls that are final girls. But yeah, I agree with you. Keeping our stress low, going for walks. I'm an earth sign, so I stay walking outside, especially by water. I have to be by water or in water. So I walk on the river bank a lot. But definitely, y'all, get your steps in, walk, look at the foods you're eating. And it's great. And find the joy in the things. So we both talk about our love for comic books and even the comic conventions, collecting. We both are collecting it. It was a struggle in the mall, y'all. It's a lot of money, comic books and collecting and visiting all the different cons and stuff, but it's a lot of joy in the community. And so we're both happy to be here, happy and healthy to be here.
All right, y'all, that is a wrap. Don't forget to, we're going to upload this I'll probably do this for this week's pod.
Nice.
But don't forget to go to YouTube and Spotify, follow Ororo Comics Podcast, support 2 Black nurses trying to bring awareness to how much comic books imitate real life, particularly in the areas of health.
We have to talk about Supercell next time.
Yeah, we do. And Baltimore Comic Con. We are going to be the press. We have media passes to go to all 3 days to Baltimore Comic Con. So if you are creative, we're coming for you. You're gonna see these faces. All right, y'all. I think that's it.
Yeah.
All right, girl. Hey, girl. I got like 20 minutes before I have to be at 4 with the marketing team for Epiphany Engine, which is the crossover book. Yeah.
I heard Luna's included. Congrats to you, sis. You out here making it big moves. You are gonna be a headliner.
I hope so one day.
Like when we go over and say, I am not now, nor have I ever been a showgirl. I am a headliner. You a headliner, baby. You ain't nobody's showgirl.
Yeah, we still, so far it's funded a little under 20,000.
Wow.
But he set the goal for 51,000. And I mean, I think that's a lot of money, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, the Epiphany Engine is a graphic novel featuring like over 40 publishers and a bunch of characters, including Luna, which is my main character. So anyway, So what you want to talk about, girl?
Well, for health, I know we have June, Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So just a shout out to the men. And we just, the fact that we just had Jerry on the pod, I think was super timely, especially with him sharing his experiences with, racial discrimination and aggression And it's sad in the year of our Lord 2024. I think he may have said it was 2022, but still, that's like super fresh. Not surprising at all. Just sad. I think what was surprising was the place, California.
Yeah.
I know some people have been saying pockets of it is not too progressive, but it's like imagine the audacity being from the mountains of Caucasus or whatever, and you being discriminatory to people in California, a state named California on the West
Right.
Coast of all places. You are out of there, out of their depth. You in the sun.
I will never understand how people who were not native to this country are racist to the people in this country. I don't understand it.
Wow. Go back where? Go back where you are from, where
yeah.
your skin would not burn up so
Yeah,
bad.
and that's what I used to say to people. They'll say, "Go back to where you came from," and I said, "Go back to where you came from.
This ain't your land.
Go back
No,
to where you came from."
not your land. So shout out to I think there's like Black Men Joy, and there's like Therapy for Black Men, Black Men Smile. I follow all of those pages across the different socials, and I just love seeing the different things they do to support Black men, and even talking about racial discrimination, even things like sexual assault among Black men that men don't usually get to talk about. Also things like masculinity and just the health and wellness for men overall. And just shout out to African American male wellness walk. So they've been doing their different walks, and I think they even have like cookouts now, and they have different events throughout the country. I've even seen like Black dad like stroller meetups, like how moms have different groups. And I want to say they started out in Texas. Can't remember if it's Houston or Dallas right now, but I want to say they're trying to start other chapters of this Black dads meeting
I love that
throughout the country, right? So I'm like,
that.
I know it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, but you know, we very much focus on the culture around here at Ororo Comics. So just wanted to shout out Black men's mental health and things that they're doing.
Yeah.
I think also for health,
Your
I
practicum.
mentioned we both
Your
are in
practicum.
cardiac. Crazy.
Yeah. Well, I'm on pause right now from telemetry because I injured myself. But I did get the okay to go on light duty.
Nice.
I'm not quite sure what that means in the hospital setting, but you know, I just got that news today, so hopefully I'll be back working soon because not getting paid is no joke. How's your practicum, your capstone going?
Ooh, capstone. I'm over at the Heart Hospital. So it's fun. I think it's funny, we both doing cardiac and cardiac telemetry. Just about everybody, I will say, one of the first things I noticed within like the first week or two was everybody has metabolic syndrome, which for those who don't know is hypertension, hyperlipidemia, and type 2 diabetes. And so these conditions are also sometimes accompanied with excess adipose tissue or higher BMIs. And it's just a tragedy to see. And I think for what's interesting is I see a lot of my white patients, they're older. They're like 80s, some of them in their 90s. And then my African-American patients tend to be younger. So 50s and 60s. And I even had a patient that was 44 last week. And so definitely that's one of the big things I've been seeing at the Heart Hospital, people coming in for heart attacks. But I think so far my youngest patient was 31 this week. This week was 31, Black woman, 31. So everybody watch out for your heart health, man. Low sodium, you know, low fat. Watch your weight. And it's not, and of course we're not fat phobic. We're not talking about, you know, how you look and body shapes and different things. We know we come in all beautiful, brilliant sizes. Your health is between you and your primary healthcare provider. But just noting things to look out for. This is not us giving medical advice. I want to give that disclaimer, me being married to an attorney, just giving general awareness and information in terms of advocacy and being able to educate yourselves on those things. So
and I think
that's all I got for health, girl.
And stress, you know, stress I think can you can be just as healthy as can be, but if you have stress, that can raise your blood pressure, that can affect your blood glucose levels,
your hormones, girl, diabetes, your endocrine system. So facts, big facts on the stress.
Yeah, release that stress.
But that capstone's almost over, girl. They want me to stay on. And so, like you were saying, light duty in the hospital. What? I
don't know. I don't know what that means in the hospital. I mean, I have no idea. So we'll see. We'll see what that means. I mean, we've talked about it off camera. Like, I think that there's pluses and minuses to staying where you are.
Mm.
So we'll talk about it off.
Yeah, yeah. Versus
Um,
going head first into trauma. But yeah, so staying in critical care versus going into trauma, girl. They related, but yeah.
yeah. So I got a few more minutes. Let's get into culture.
Yeah.
So you put down here the percentage of Black people in academia and PhDs. What's that all about?
Girl, it was a whole conversation started. I forgot who asked the question. I don't want to misname the social media person who asked, but she specifically asked PhDs, how do you feel about honorary doctorates and the fact that people want to be called doctor? And so, of course, doctor
I
is
remember
from
that.
Latin and it actually means to teach. It was formerly mentioned, it was formerly about academics, especially theologians and people who hold a doctor of philosophy were the original doctors. And
Mhm.
because people get confused, physicians in other countries, they're physicians or medicine practitioners, things like that. They're literally called physicians, and that's their term. And so that's a whole different debate on social media about who gets to call themselves doctor. And so then honorary doctorates enter the conversation. And my thing is, in general in life, I don't care what people call themselves, but personally, I will never view an honorary doctorate holder. It's an award. It's not you earned a doctorate. You're not at academic conferences. You're not a part of professional associations. And so that's just how I view it. And then people also talked about the fact that the people that tend to do so, at least in media that we see, because we're Black and we're in culture, it's primarily Black people who earn honorary doctorates that are like, call me doctor. And people say, oh, it's to honor their work in the community. And it's like, two things can kind of be true. Yes, you deserve to be honored for your work in the community, but does it need to be a doctorate? And so that's just that question, especially when so few Black people have earned PhDs. So I'm not speaking for PsyDs or EDDs and other types of doctors. This conversation was specifically about PhD, so
Mhm.
doctor of philosophy. And so even for my field as a research scientist, biomedical researchers make up less than 2%. So Black people make up less than 2% of NIH funded biomedical research scientists. And this is the largest producer of biomedical research in the world, the National Institutes of Health. And so that's why I said I will never view them the same way. And I think this conversation was sparked from Tiny, I think from Escape. And so she got an honorary doctorate. And people were saying, well, look at all she's done for the culture and for the community. Granted, I'm not familiar with her work. I don't know what she's done in the community, but I won't be calling her Dr. Harris. So congrats to her.
And also, I know I've never gone through the PhD process. I've never, tried to get one, but that is a very rigorous and intimate process. I mean, they're like, if it's anything, like my friend, she went to law school. And as she was preparing to go to law school, I think even when she was preparing to take the bar, like she had to get references from like five different people. I mean, they go back years in your background,
Yep.
and you have to have different reference letters. And whereas when someone gets an honorary doctorate in the media, like if they're a celebrity, they don't do that for them. I know they don't ask, "Oh, I need five references from you, to determine whether or not you're a good person or not, or you're trustworthy and
And
you're
you
like,
saw Howard just revoke Diddy's. And so,
yeah,
in light of all of his abuse
as
cases,
they should
things
have.
coming out, yeah, and human trafficking, all the things like that. And to your point, PhD, we have to take entry level exams. I know some standards are changing. I applied for grad school about 10 years ago now. And so we had to take the GRE. So you had to get letters of reference. And when you're in the program, you have to complete high level coursework. These are 700, 800 level classes across campus in different methodology. And so mine basically was like advanced mathematics and kind of econometrics. So it's like estimating mathematical models using economic theory for large healthcare data sets. And
Mm.
so, and then after taking your coursework, years of coursework, we have to take a qualifying exam to even defend. So we had one part of mine was math, a math portion, and that was take home. And then the other part was in person for a few hours, which was testing our knowledge area on economics, econometrics, health policy and advocacy, and also minority health and health equity. So those are the 4 components of my qualifying exam. Then after that, you don't advance to candidacy just yet. Then you have to defend your perspectives. And so this is your project. This is what you're adding to the field. So my field is health services research and health policy. And so my big thing was model estimation and how we look at models for healthcare utilization. And that paper is actually published and it's in the Library of Congress. And so when people talk about what it takes, they're, going to the community, I'm like, sure, I've done community service as well, but that doesn't mean I'm on the same level as somebody who's done this. And I don't even know anybody who has an honorary doctorate in my field per se. So, and not to say somebody wouldn't deserve it. It just, I can't think of anybody off top.
And sometimes it's because they contributed a lot to the college. I mean, I'm not gonna, you know.
Yeah, did he donated $1 million, didn't he, or a couple million? I think that he had never even gave the money back. So Howard clarified that there was nothing to return because he never even donated the money in the first place, but they were still revoking the doctorate anyway. So yeah, girl.
So one more thing we can chat about. Pride Month or Black Music Month, Caribbean American Heritage Month.
Yes. Months.
Yeah. I gotta be honest, I really haven't really talked about any of these this month. I've been focused on my own stuff.
Well, you got a reason, girl. You got to write. You got Luna and the Maruvians are waiting. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Pride Month. Shout out to I think Gay Black Comic Geek. I forgot how.
I know who you talking about, girl, because I love his review.
He just got wrapped. He's being repped now by, I believe, Brooklyn Management. So we're going to be seeing him. I hope we see him on the red carpet, you know, interviewing people.
Love you, Black Gay Comic Geek. We love you here on a roll.
Black Gay Comic Geek. That's what it is.
And what's funny is I actually have my all year mug. I love this mug. I love it. So congratulations to him.
And then Black Music Month, girl. I don't even know.
Look, NPR Tiny Desk has been eating it up this month. I think they had Willow Smith. I know everybody's been talking about the Shaka Khan and what's her name? Tim's. Oh my God.
Tim's was on there?
Whoever is doing NPR Tiny Desk, baby.
I gotta see the one with Tim's. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I love her.
Oh, and it's the 25th anniversary for the 1999 juvenile, you know, big women.
He was on there. He was on there last year, I think. Or was it this year?
Yes. It was amazing. Tiny Desk. Definitely up there, top 5. T-Pain's is up there as well. A lot of wins for Black Babyface. Because he had my baby Avery Wilson on there. Whew. Okay. I love my husband, but Avery Wilson is gorgeous. He is so gorgeous and talented. Man can dance, he can sing, he can do it all. I think he's in The Wiz currently now on Broadway as maybe the Scarecrow.
I don't know.
Anyway, love you, Avery.
Shout out to Broadway and Hell's Kitchen. Alicia Keys just won a whole bunch of awards.
Yeah.
For her I guess biopic, I don't know what you would call it, but it's loosely based on her life. And they have all her music in there. She wrote this play, and she has all her music in there, and it's like loosely based on her life growing up in Hell's Kitchen.
I need to watch this. Wow. And also her and Jay just hit 1 billion streams for New York.
And I just want to close out this segment. They should have had, though, they performed New York at the Tony Awards, right?
Yeah.
One person was missing.
Little Mama. I pointed out that song would not be that moment wouldn't have been remembered.
Right. I still remember that moment.
Yes.
Yeah. So they need to ask Little Mama back on that stage. Yeah, they ask her.
They should have done it for the culture, man. Speaking of the culture, though, culture's biggest night is coming up on Sunday, the BET Awards. I'm so ready.
And you said Megan is opening up the show.
Yes. I'm so excited. Megan Thee Stallion, girl. We love you here, girl. We love you.
Yes. I can't do it. I love it.
Every time.
Look, I listen to her music when my son's not listening, because that girl can.
I'd be like, I'm a hot girl. Yeah, any song that comes out. Wanna Be with Glorilla right now is definitely been on repeat. I'm like, hey, go Meg. Go Meg. And I'd be like, go Eb. Get it.
I can't repeat the song that I like. My favorite song of hers, I can't repeat it right now.
Oh, yeah, we family friendly.
I'm gonna text you my favorite I gotta keep it clean,
Gotta keep it cute.
But anyway, that's it for me, girl. I gotta jump on this other call.
Yes, shout out to Dominica though for Caribbean Heritage Month. I'm married into, we diaspora strong in this household. So Ebony Toussaint, Dominica family name. So if y'all don't know what Dominica is, not Dominican Republic, Dominica, go ahead and look it up. The flag.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it the next time, and we'll figure out what other day we're gonna film too.
Yeah, I'm free next week too for the launch. I'm free next week for the launchy launch.
I might be, might not be, because I know that was a scheduled day for me to work. So if they tell me I have to work,
and get that double pay, girl, light duty.
Yeah,
Ain't on light.
I know.
I'm like that. The colonizer
house. Stretchers. I'll be pushing stretchers. Hey y'all. But yeah.
I might go shadow in the ED that day. I think that's the day I'm gonna tell them I can go because I figure a lot of people will be there because it's a holiday. They make you work one major, one minor. I don't know why that's considered a major holiday. Is it a major holiday to you?
No, Christmas and Easter, maybe.
Christmas and Easter.
Thanksgiving.
That's not one of the ones. I'm surprised Easter is not on there. You brought up a good point. I didn't think about that. They said Christmas, 4th of July, Thanksgiving, and New Year's Day. How not Easter?
That must be minor.
No, those are considered the 4 major ones. So this is the Prisma health system. Prisma is the health system that's big here in South Carolina. Because I think North Carolina is like Atrium is big there too. Okay. Yeah. I think the other one's like HCA or is another one that's popular in Florida and South Carolina and North Carolina. But yeah, so those are the 4 ones, girl. I was like, what? But you're right. I did not think about Easter. But
I think Easter's a big holiday. At least for like the Catholic hospitals, the one I work at.
Any Judeo-Christian religion is Easter and Christmas. Like
Juneteenth wasn't a holiday for nobody. I don't think people got paid for the holiday, so I'm not sure what's going on right there.
I definitely was at the hospital.
File a complaint.
Was that last week? Yeah, not file a complaint. Reparations, sir. Man, y'all got me working on this.
I wish they would talk about reparations. That's
my freedom day. Juneteenth is our freedom day to me. That's why I said that's a major one to me. I'll take that over 4th of July because
yeah. You know why I wanted to drop on 4th of July, right?
Why?
Because it's us.
It's what?
It's us. It's us. It's the culture. We're gonna drop. We're gonna
drop it for the culture, baby. Drop it for the culture.
Yes.
But I probably really will be at the hospital today too. I just thought about it. And if I shadow that day, they probably gonna have some firework injuries for some stupid college students.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we get a lot of college students. I'm sure somebody gonna come in with a hand blown up, or I've even heard gunshot too. Gunshot injuries, some people shooting up in the air and the bullets coming back down. So
I feel it's gonna be very busy, especially here in Baltimore.
Oh yeah.
All right, girl. I'm gonna talk to you later.
Thank you. So good to see you, girl.
Bye, honey.
Bye.